Hello everyone. I hope I am audible. Anybody can please just put down into the chat and confirm that whether I'm audible perfectly well or not. So please put down into the chat and so that I'll get an idea whether I'm audible, visible or not. Anyone, please go ahead. Okay, looks like I am audible. All well. Great. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I mean, I'm really sorry for being 2-3 minutes late. So let's see. Still, a lot of people are trying to get inside. So no worries. Let them come inside, and meanwhile, we'll start uh, on our work. So let me share my screen as well. So I'll just open up my screen. Mm, Okay, great. Please let me know if my screen is visible to you. I think it's still yet not. Okay, I hope it is or visible now. So yesterday I was talking about like somebody is asking for a recording. So recording is already there on the YouTube itself. So on this channel, on in this YouTube channel itself, you can see the recording. Okay. So or else you can go down to this course. So yesterday we talked about it, like how you can get an login into this portal. So this is the portal on which I am logged in. So this is my Azure Lib Academy account. So yesterday, if you still have a doubt how you can get login into this portal, please watch the yesterday's video again. And in this initial portion of that video itself, I've told you that how you can get the account created here for completely free. So I'm just using a login into that because there is a one quiz I have uploaded. So I just want all of you to take that quiz. So that's the intention of showing you here again. So and let's assume that nobody has gone through that quiz. So once you enroll, here is your course. Go down to this course, and here you see this quiz one. So I have uploaded this quiz one, and which looks something like this. Okay, so I hope it's visible and you can able to see my complete screen. Okay, now let's click on the get started up, and here is your first question. So in this first question, let me tell me what could be the answer for this first question. Put down under the chat what could be the answer for this. What do you mean by computing service in the cloud? Getting core processor over the cloud, getting storage volume over the cloud. I'm talking about the computing service in the cloud. Okay, so what does it mean? So what could be the answer? The first one or the second one? Put down into the chat and let me see who is saying what. Deepak is saying answer one. Ankur is saying answer one. Saptarishi is saying the one. A lot of people, anybody is saying this is an answer two. Anyone is? Okay. Ritika is saying this is two. Satya Satyabrata is saying this is answer two. Great. Harika is saying this is two. So let me tell you the right answer. So the right answer is the first one, getting core processor, because you understand what we are trying to do is the compute service. What is compute service? Compute service which provide you the computation power. If you get the storage, that is not a computation power. So compute service means something which can give you the power to process. Okay, and the power to process is comes from this core processor. So the right answer here is the getting core processor over the cloud. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, which of the following is not an advantage of the cloud? So yesterday we talked about the lot of advantages of the cloud. Now out of that, which one of them is not an advantage of the cloud? So again, waiting for your answers, guys. Go ahead. What is your answer? Four. Few people are saying three. Come on, go ahead. Four, one. Somebody saying one. Venkata is saying one. What about others? Aditya is saying four. Kaushik is saying four. Sana is saying, don't know, no worries. Just think about it. What are the features or advantages we talked yesterday? Okay. So many people have said the answer four, and the right answer is actually the four only. So you remember yesterday we talked about the scalability. What is the scalability? Scalability means that you can increase the size, you can decrease the size, or you can increase the number of resources, or you can decrease the number of resources, right? So scalability is the feature. So it's an advantage. Agility is like you click the button and you try to get the resource, and those resources are right away allocated to you, so it's very fast. So agility is also an advantage. High availability means that there is a very less downtime, so again that is also your advantage. So what is a what is not an advantage or a disadvantage is free resource. So rest assured, there is nothing is free in the cloud. I repeat, there is nothing is free in the cloud. So in the cloud world, everything is charged one way or other way. Forget about the trial period or trial account. After once you moved out of that trial account, everything is charged, so you will get nothing in the free in the clouds world, whether it is an Azure cloud or whether it is an Amazon cloud, whatever it is, everything is charged. Okay, so here the right answer is free resource. Now let's see the next question. Which is true for the scalability? Now, this will be an interesting one. Increase, increasing, decreasing the number of the resource. It can be two types, vertical and horizontal. It can help in disaster recovery. So this is a multiple choice question. Here are multiple answers can be correct. So what are those answers which are true for the scalability? Come on, guys, answer it. One, two, three. How many of them are correct? Rajni is saying one and two. Kaushik is saying one and two. Anymore? Saptarishi is saying two only. Shri Shri Shrilatha is saying two only. Deepak is saying one and two. Savan is saying one and two. What about other guys? What do you feel? Don't try, just put your answers. That's okay. Even if it is wrong or right, that's fine. Put it. So Anubhav is saying one and two. K. Sridhar is saying it's one and two. Yes. So you're right. The right answer is one and two. Why? Let's see. So the first option is increasing and decreasing the number of the resources. Yes, this is what the scalability is all about, right? In this scalability, you increase or you decrease, right? The number of the resources. So that is right. So this is true. It can be of a two types, vertical and horizontal. That is also true. It could be like vertical, the way I'm telling here, and horizontal in this manner, right? So these two are right. It can help in disaster recovery. No, scalability doesn't have to do anything with the disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is like when you have a same kind of a server you create in at another place, and you're trying to do a backup, creating a backup of it. That is your disaster recovery. So here the answer one and answer two is right. So we'll select these two and let's move forward. So our question number four, quickly. Which type of the cloud would be costlier in terms of the money? Okay, again, I'm sorry, this is something out of the syllabus because yesterday we haven't discussed about this topic. That is the public cloud versus private cloud. But let me tell you, if anybody can guess what is the which one would be the costlier, if you want to put out. Sridhar is saying two. What about others? Sasivan is saying two. So that's fine because this is something out of the syllabus. We haven't discussed about this yesterday. But the right answer is the private cloud. Private cloud is generally a costly because you have to set up everything. Public is something like someone else cloud and we are using it. Okay. In few minutes, we're going to talk about this public and private cloud. Don't worry. Okay. Next and the last question is this one. Looks little interesting. So tell me, This is an example of what? Is this is an example of vertical scaling, or this is example of a horizontal scaling? What is this example of? Looks interesting because yesterday we talked a lot about it. Okay. Kanishka is saying it is vertical scaling. Sambit is saying it's vertical scaling. Sandhya is saying it is horizontal scaling. What about others? Let me know your answer, guys. Go ahead. A sarcastic human. I don't know what is your name. So, but yeah, he's saying vertical scaling. What about others, man? Go up. Go ahead. Put down here. Let be interactive. Okay. Mr. Fale is saying this is vertical scaling. So right. So the right answer is vertical scaling, because if you look at the diagram here, we are increasing the size. So you remember yesterday I talked about it. The increasing and this is vertical. Why? Because in the vertical scaling you can you can increase the size or you can decrease the size. Horizontal scaling is like where you add the same kind of machines more, like here is 2, next time you have the 3, next time you have a 4 together, something like that. So this could be a horizontal scaling where you are increasing the uh, uh, same type of machine more. Muralidhar is asking, reply me Deepak. I don't know what you are asking and where you are asking. Please, i'm answer I'm answer, but are you not replying me, man? I'm really sorry. I don't know. I think I missed your answers, Muralidhar. That's okay. So you are here. Muralidhar. Okay. So this is the vertical scaling and the horizontal scaling. So great. So we have done with this quiz. Today I have done it for you guys. Tomorrow onwards, what I want is like I'm going to upload your quiz here in this portal. You know, like how you can access it, and then going forward, you can um, use this quiz or go through this quiz on your own itself. Okay, and let me submit, and then you will see the result as well. What is the result of this quiz? So we got our 100% in this quiz because we got all our answers yes. So this kind of an interactive quizzes also you will get. So for that, you come down to this login portal of that Azure Lab Academy account, and you can watch the recording here as well, and you can also play all those quizzes as well. So let's say, for example, if I click on the session 1, you will go ahead and you can see the session 1 in the progress as well. Okay, if you click on the quizzes, you will see the quiz. Okay, so great. Now let's come down to our today's topic. Now today's topic, great. I think I have a one more question. Let's see, my PPT contains one more question, so let's go with this question as well. Okay, suppose you are using the insurance premium calculator application. This is an example of, so tell me, this is example of what? Anyone? Aina is asking for how long you will have access to Azure Lib account. That is a lifetime access, so rest assured. Okay. Do we need to click mark as complete after every session and quiz we take up? Yes, it's good, so that you get to know that whatever you have completed. But it is not like that. If you want to revisit, you can still revisit it. Okay. So it's not like that once you do mark as complete, you will not see it. So you can still see it. Okay. Great. So what next, man? Many people are saying this is a SaaS. So tell me, what your thoughts, guys? This answer is SaaS or what? Lot of people has a thinking that this answer is a SAS, and I feel the right answer is SAS only, because now anybody can tell me why this answer is a SAS, why this insurance premium calculator something we consider it as a SaaS service. Why? Can anybody know? I mean, tell me. Let's see, software, people are saying software. So yes, you are right. If you look at this, if I give you the your mutual fund calculator or an insurance premium calculator, there, do you know about what is the operating system? Do you? Want to check whether it is deployed on the Linux or a Windows machine? No. Do you want to check in which technology it is developed, like in the Java, .NET, or etc.? No, you don't care, right? What exactly you care about is you just directly want to access it. So infrastructure as a service where you decide what is the operating system, what is the underlying hardware, etc. So you didn't get these when you use any insurance premium calculator website. Probably you will not think about all this, right? Platform as a service, also not, because you don't think about which technology it has been developed, right, or where it is running. You only care about using it, and that is what the SaaS tells you, that software as a service. So entire software has been built, and that is given to you as a kind of a service. So that's why this option is software as a service. Okay, great. Now let's move to the today's topic. Now today's topic is, as I said yesterday as well, from today onwards we get into an Azure. So the first question come in, what is an Azure? Okay. So far yesterday we were talking about that Azure, I mean cloud computing, cloud computing, cloud computing. So Azure is nothing but a cloud computing service provider. Okay. Or it's a platform which gives you the cloud computing capabilities. See, cloud computing is a concept that is delivered by the Azure, that is also delivered by the AWS, that is also delivered by GCP or some Oracle Cloud or few other like a Digital Ocean or something like that. Okay, so there are many cloud providers who provide the cloud computing services. Out of that, the AWS, GCP, and Azure, these are three most popular cloud providers, and Azure is one of them. And Azure is owned by Microsoft, so we many times you call it as a Microsoft Azure. Okay, now, as I was saying yesterday as well, that Azure, when you create an, use an Azure, Azure is not built for just you only. Okay, for example, you are a database developer, you are a front end developer, so you will feel that it is built for me only. No, it's not like that. End of the day, they are into the business. They are doing a business. So what they do is they build the services for across the industry. So the database developer can also use it, front end developer can also use this, data scientist can also use it, um, a mobile devices developer can also use it, uh, cognitive services, or there are many services out there. So there are more than 100 services are there which cater to a different uh, parts of the IT industry, and all of them can in one way or other way use the Azure. Okay, and that's why I always say that when you say that I want to make a career in Azure, that will be the wrong statement. It will be like you want to do something. Maybe you want to become a data engineer, data scientist, data analyst, front end developer, cybersecurity expert, etc. Whatever, that will be your main role, and along with that you do it onto the Azure cloud. Okay, so Azure is a bouquet of 100 plus services. So when you say I want to do Azure, you have to pick this set of services which is relevant for your profile, and then you will learn all those only. You no need to learn all the 100 services because you cannot master all of them. You will master only the thing which is relevant to your profile. Okay, so that's this is a very basic definition about the Azure. Now another important thing comes in is like, okay, talking is all fine, how I'm going to use this Azure? Okay, because that is the question, how I can access the Azure. So you go down to the Google and you can search for a Azure free trial account. So Azure provides you a free trial account that is valid for 100 days. That is valid for 30 days. So what it do is, let's say for example, you make an account. So Azure on the day one gives you $200 or USD. Okay. So let's say for example, I am using a virtual machine. Now virtual machine cost is $10. Okay, so that $10 will get deduct from this $200 which I get it as a free credit. Okay, so Azure gives you a free credit for 30 days. Okay, and in that 30 days you can use any of the Azure service for this much price. Okay, and after this 30 days this credit get expired, and then you have to actually convert your account from a free trial into the paid account. Okay, then from there onwards you start paying it. The good thing is that it's not like a normal website where the moment your 30 days done and automatically money got deducted from your account. It doesn't happen like into the Azure. The good thing is that you have to manually upgrade your account from a free trial to the paid one. So until unless you don't do that manual upgradation, there is no money get deducted from your account. Okay, one caveat is that when you make an Azure free trial account, you need to submit your uh, credit card details. Okay, so credit card information you need to put in to make a free Azure account. Sometimes a debit card are also allowed. Few of the debit cards are allowed in India, few of them are not. So again, there is no perfect list is given. You, if you have a debit card, just give it a shot with your free, I mean, debit card, and see if you can able to create it. I've seen that many of my students are able to create a account with a free debit card who has an international transaction enabled on that, and couple of them might not be. So don't get into that circle. For sure, credit card is always allowed. Okay, so you can make a free account using the credit card. Okay, and then you can start using the services of the Azure. Okay. Now, okay, I'll make the account. I have given all the credit card information, etc. Now, how I can use this Azure? So, Azure basically can be used in the four different ways. So, the first way is Azure Web Portal. So, this is one of the most common way of accessing the Azure through the web portal. So, what you do is you go to the Azure website, and in the browser, in your Chrome browser or in your Mozilla Firefox or any of your Internet Explorer, you go and you type the website address and you access the Azure through the web portal. There is also a way to access the Azure through the CLI, that is command line interface. So like your command prompt, you install a CLI, Azure CLI, and then you try to access the Azure through the commands. Okay, you also have a cloud shell. So in the cloud only you will get a command prompt, and there you can run all the commands, or else you can monitor most of the things in the Azure through the Azure mobile app. Okay, so there are four different ways in which you can access the Azure, but this is the most common way. Most common way. Okay, Azure CLI or a cloud shell is used mostly by the DevOps slash admin folks, because admins are the one who loves to write the Linux Unix kind of commands and access it. For a data engineer, data scientist, front end developer, back end developers, SQL developers, testers, all those people are not very acquainted with the writing the Linux Unix command or using the system through the command line interface. So probably most of them are going to use the Azure through the web portal. And I'm also going, in this today's demo, I'm also going to use this the Azure web portal only for accessing this our Azure account. Okay. Now, this is a one hierarchy, and let's just at a very high level, let's see this hierarchy, and then we will actually go down and create everything. So in this hierarchy, if you see, look at it from the bottom. Okay, so you create a virtual machine, maybe you create a virtual private network, you create a some website, you create a some SQL server, some Azure functions, batch jobs, etc. Whatever you create, everything eventually goes into a resource group. Okay, resource group is nothing but a bag. You think like it's a bag. I'll talk about it more. And then the resource group lies within this subscription. Subscription is the payment terms, okay, through which the payment happens, uh, or amount get deducted. And then lastly, everything belongs to a management group, that is the top level. So this is the hierarchy. Now let's just go down to the Azure portal and let's understand from there itself. Okay, then it will be very easy for you to understand. So let me take you there. uh, Let me go down to this. Okay, so this is my Azure account. Let me open up my Azure account. So I already have an account with the Azure. If you don't have it, first, for making, I mean, doing this practical, you have to create a free Azure account, and then only you can do it. Okay. So meanwhile, many of you, if you are joined today only, and if you have not subscribed this channel, please go out and subscribe it, so that you don't need to wait for emails or anything. Automatically you get a notification. And also please do like this video, so that it can reach to a lot of people. Okay. So at a high level, if you look at it, this is the your Azure portal looks like. This is called as the Azure portal or Azure website. Okay, Azure portal is a very common word which is used rather than the Azure website. Okay, so we call it as a Azure portal only. Okay, and the website address is portal.azure.com. Okay, now these are the services which I have recently used. Okay, so here you see these are the Azure services which I have recently used. So I some Synapse, Cosmos DB, etc., etc. So all those services which I was recently used. Here you can see that the recent activities last viewed is like 8 hours ago and 2 hours ago and 2 days ago or something like that. Okay, so you're getting all those services which I have used. Okay, on the right hand side top here you see your details about login information, etc. Then whatever you want to search in the Azure world, you just type anything here, and it will search across the Azure account and give it to you. Okay, so if you don't know what is, I mean, anything exists anywhere, or where something exists, so what you can do is you can put on the search here. Okay, and this will come. Or else you can click on these icons, I mean, three lines here, and there you see a lot of other services. Like if you want to create a resource group, you select this option. If you want to create a function app, you create this option, etc., etc. Or else you can come go to that specific service from here itself. So up to you. You will become comfortable as you start using this entire Azure portal. Okay, here you get some updates or notifications. Here you want to change few settings, so you can click on that and you can change few settings. Here again you get some directory information, etc. So again, all this is not very much relevant to us. This is more of a like um, admin task to change few settings. For us, this is the you see, if you can see here, so this icon is a cloud shell. So if you go back to our PPT, you know that in the PPT I said it like four different ways. One was web portal, one was CLI, and one was cloud shell. So in the cloud shell is like, in the cloud you get the command prompt. So you click on this, and what it do is, on this cloud, you get a cloud shell. So this is called a cloud shell. So on the cloud account itself, you got this command prompt where you can write the your commands, and you can access your Azure. Okay, so that is called as cloud shell. So if someone who is coming from an um, admin background or an infrastructure background, and they are loves to write a commands, so they can use this cloud shell. So I can choose the PowerShell, and then I can write all the PowerShell commands here. And through that PowerShell command, I can create the resources, I can delete the resources, I can increase, decrease the sizes, etc. All that I can do it through that a command prompt. Again, if you want to become a normal Azure data engineer, data scientist or something, you don't need to worry about it. All this cloud shell thing, you want to worry about it when you want to become an Azure administrator. Okay, so if your aim is Azure administrator, or maybe like a Azure DevOps guy, something like that, then you need to know little more about these of the cloud shell and the commands. Okay, otherwise it's completely fine. Okay, now let's create our first service, or the first resource in our Azure world. So as I said, the two things are very common. One is your server, another one is your storage. So let's say first we create an easy one. So that is the storage account. Okay. So we are going to create our first service into the our Azure, that is the storage account. Okay. Now what is the storage account? Is stands for storage account stands. I mean, whenever you want to store something into the cloud, 95, I mean, sorry, 90, what 95? almost 100% of the times you store something into the cloud using the storage account. Okay, that is the basic service into the Azure. Okay, this storage is pretty similar to Amazon S3. So if by any chance if you have heard about Amazon S3, simple storage service in Amazon. So this Amazon S3 service is pretty equivalent to the storage account. Or if you are coming from a GCP background or Google Cloud Platform, so in the Google Cloud Platform you have a cloud storage. Okay, so cloud storage in Google Platform, S3 in Amazon, or storage account in Azure. All three are more or less the same thing. Okay, remember one thing: most of the cloud, whether I talk about AWS, GCP, or Azure, more or less all these three are competitor to each other, and that's why all of them have a common services are out there. Okay, so maybe the name is different, but almost the functionality which you get it into one cloud, you will get the similar functionality into another cloud as well. So that won't be a big problem. Okay. Okay, coming back. So we're going to create an storage account, because storage account is a thing where we can store any kind of data, whether you want to store the CSV file, JSON file, audio, video, images, text, PDF, whatever you want to store into the cloud, you can store it into the storage accounts. Okay, so storage account is a service which is, you think like it's an horizontal service. Why I'm saying it's an horizontal service? The reason is that this kind of service is useful for across the profile. So this is because data engineer also need to save something, data scientists also need to save something, front end or back end developer also need to save something, SQL developer also need to save their scripts, etc. So this storage account service is pretty common service which is common across the multiple profile. So almost everyone who is using this the Azure probably is using the storage account. Okay, storage account is to store any files or folder, think like that. Okay, so let's just get down and create our first storage account. How you can create it? Come down to the search box and type storage, and then you will automatically see here storage account in the bottom. You see storage account. So click on this as storage account. That will take you to the window for creation of the storage account. Okay. So this is window where you can create the storage account. Now here you see the list of the storage account. Almost 45 storage account is there. So all these storage account I have created for myself. Maybe when you are using your a free trial account and you're creating the first time, probably you will see an empty screen here. Why? Because you don't have any storage account created yet. Okay, but let's create our first storage account. How are you going to create it? Click on this plus create option. So let me click on this plus create. It will open up another window where it will ask me to provide lot of other information. Okay, so I'm going to put out a lot of information. Again, whatever we are learning today is a more of a practical approach. Maybe for your Azure AZ900 certification, this practical part is not very much needed, because AZ900 exam is more of a theoretical exam. In fact, most of the certification exams are generally theoretical exams only, and that's why I don't like too much of certification exams, honestly, because theory won't help much. We need to know the practicals. Okay, so we are working on the practical part here, like how you can create your own storage account. So let's create it. So the first thing comes is this subscription. Okay, now what is this subscription is? Subscription, you think like subscription is the account from which your money get deducted. If you remember my statement, I said it that whatever you do into the Azure cloud, you are going to get charged. So everything is paid, nothing is free into the cloud world. Okay, so everything has a charge associated. So here also, like when you create a storage account, it will has some charge. So who is going to bear that charge, or from which account this charge will get deducted? So the subscription is the account from which a charge get deducted. Okay, think like that. I mean, just I'm telling at a very high level. This company is ABC company. Okay. Now this ABC company is a big company. Now this ABC company has a four project running in. Project one, two, three, four. Okay. Now this company, ABC company, has a tie-up with Azure, okay, or the Microsoft. So like what this company do is they created just one account, okay. So they created one account with the Azure, okay. So this is XYZ company, and it is a tie-up with the Azure, and they create just a one account, okay, enterprise account. Now what they do is, for their four different project internally, they created a four subscription, okay. This is project 1, project 2, project 3, and project 4. So automatically, for project 1, whatever be the resources needed or whatever be the its uses is, all the money will get deducted from this part. For other project, the money will deducted from this piece or from this account, okay. So generally, in a one account you can have a multiple subscription, okay. For example, when you create your free trial account, you get a subscription called free trial account, okay. So all your money get deducted from free trial account, okay. So generally in a company, you might see that you will have a multiple subscription. Sometimes people have even a subscription at the environment level, okay. So like one is a dev, for one is UAT, and one subscription for prod level. Again, that depends how any company is accessing it, okay. Some company might have a different for different environments, some company might have a one subscription for all the environments, okay. Idea is, the money, the whatever you resource you create, the money for them will get deducted from this specific subscription, okay. Now there comes the second thing. So subscription, whatever be the resource you're going to create, every time a money will get deducted for sure, okay. So every time it will ask you the subscription, whether you create a virtual machine, whether you create data breaks, whether you create the data factory, whatever service you create in an Azure world, you have been asked every time what is the subscription, because Azure want to know from where it will go and deduct the money, okay. So subscription will be the first thing which you give. Second thing you give is the resource group. Now what is the resource group is? Resource group is basically um, a logical bag, okay. So what does it mean by logical bag? Imagine that in one subscription, okay, I have a multiple modules, okay. So I'm going to create a four storage account, one for my, let's say, dev environment, one for UAT, one for SIT, one for prod, etc. So what I can think of is, like, I can create a resource group, okay. So I know that this resource group is of a dev resource group, okay. So whatever be the resource inside it probably belongs to the development environment. This is a resource group, I call it as a prod one. So whatever be the resource under this resource group are all critical one, because this is a production one, something like that, okay. So that's how you generally do the logical segregation, and that is called the resource grouping, okay. So you can create any resource group. For example, um, I take multiple batches. So let's say, for example, I take my mission 100 batch, okay. So I should mission, let's say if my subscription was this one, so I'll show you. So you see I have so many many resource group. So let's say, for example, for my batch 3, okay, whatever I have created one resource group. So for all my batch 3, whatever changes I mean, for my batch 3, whatever be the resource I create, I created into this group. So basically I get all the resources here. Let me just go down here and show you, okay, what is resource group. So you search here resource group, actually resource groups, okay, and you will see a list of the resource group, because I have a multiple resource group, okay. And out of that, let me search a mission 100 ADE batch 3, okay, or let's say batch 4. So this is my batch 4. So if I create this resource group, I mean, I go inside this resource group of batch 4. Now I am pretty sure that whatever be the different things I have created, so in the batch 4, I've created the data bricks, I've created data factory, I've created the storage account, I created some backup of the data factory, Cosmos DB, Key Vault. So all those different variety of services I have created. But you see, logically, what I have done is, logically all these services I have put under a one resource group called Mission 100 AD Batch 4. Now, what is the advantage of this? At any point of a time, the moment my this batch get complete, okay, my batch get finished, I feel that okay, I don't need anything now. So I don't have to go and individually delete all of them. What I'm going to do is, I just come down to resource group, I'll say delete the resource group, and whatever this resource group contains, all the variety of services, automatically everything will get deleted. Okay, so this will make it very easy for me to manage this different variety of the resources, because I logically now know that for my batch, for whatever is needed is inside this resource group. Similarly, in the real world project, you can have a resource group based on the environment, say dev environment. So all the dev environment resources will be within this group. So as soon as your development environment works done and you want to delete all the resources from development environment, you just delete the resource group of development environment, and all the resources automatically get deleted. Okay, so this is a logical categorization, you can do it. Okay, so let's go back again to our storage account creation which we were doing it. Okay, so that's how you understand this resource group will do nothing on its own. It does not give you any other functionality except this categorization, or like the logical grouping. Okay, so we came here, I have selected my subscription. You can see that I have a multiple subscription. One is this one Visual Studio one, another one are few of them disabled. So out of them I've used a one real one, or which is an active one. Okay, now in the resource group I create a new resource group. Let me call it as a mission Azure for all. What is this day is 28 May batch. Okay, so 28 map batch, I'll get remember by this. Okay, that okay, this is belong to this specific batch. And then so this will go um, inside this resource group, and now it will ask you the storage account name. Okay, so storage account name is basically the name of your storage account, and it needs to be unique. For example, let's say if I give a name as like mission 100 free Azure batch. Okay, so you cannot have a capital letter, everything you need to give a small. Mission 100 free Azure batch. Okay, so I give this just this name for example. Okay, what it will do is it will first check whether this name is available or not. Okay, if it is available it's fine, if it is not it will give you an error. Okay, now if I take this name and I create the storage account, then you cannot create the storage account with the same name, because these names are the unique. Okay, once you have taken the name, nobody else can take on it until unless you delete it. Okay, so it's pretty similar to like your domain name. For example, the facebook.com, the linkedin.com, the google.com, all these are the domain names. Somebody has already bought this domain names, so you cannot create the website with this same name, because this is uniquely identified with this domain name. So your storage account is also similar like that. So the storage account name which you taken up cannot be taken by anyone else. Okay, so it has to be unique. So let's say I have taken up this name. Now the next thing comes in the storage account creation is this, that is the region. Okay, now region is pretty important. Again, region is also uh, very common parameter which always ask whatever the service you create. So region will decide where exactly in the world your storage account get created, because we are into the cloud world. Okay, I am telling you that okay, create a storage account for me, but where you create a storage account for me, in the US, in UK, in India, in China, in Japan, where exactly you're going to create it. So region will decide where exactly this code is going to get this storage account get created. Okay, So it's like you cannot decide. I mean, you can decide by choosing the correct region. So whatever be the region value you select, your storage account get created into that specific geographical location. So basically what happens is, uh, in the world, this Azure has divided this world into the geographical locations. Okay, so for example, one is US one, another one is UK one, some is one is Australia, one is Singapore, one is India, then we have somewhere China, etc. So what they have done is, based upon the geographical locations, they have created multiple regions. Okay, and in this region they have a specific, their servers are allocated. So they have a one server in one big server, or I should call it as a data center. Okay, so they have a one data center in Australia, one is in Singapore, one is in India, one is in UK, one is in US, something like that. So they have their data center available across the world, and that is, they called it as a region. Okay, and now, in which data center you want this storage account get created, you can decide it based upon this region value. Okay, so whatever is your choice of the region, based on that, your data will get allocated to that specific location. Okay, so you can choose the region as well. So far, for this creation, what we have done, we have given just a subscription name, we have given the resource group, we have given the name, and we have chosen the region equal to default, that is the East US. Okay, its performance we'll talk about later on, not now. Performance could be two: standard one and premium one. Premium will have a little higher price, and standard one is a basic price, but the premium will have much more faster compared to the standard one. Okay, and then the redundancy levels are there. We not to, I mean, right now is not the right time to discuss all that. Okay, now go down to this advanced tab. Okay, in the advanced tab, there is a one option, leave as it is empty. Okay, I'm not going too much into it because that is not needed. You get this one option, hierarchical namespace. Okay, so this is one checkbox. If I enable this checkbox, my storage account will convert it into an ADLS one, that is Azure Data Lake Storage. Okay, Data Lake Storage. If I don't select this option, then it will become just a blob storage account. Okay, so your storage account can be for two type, either it's a blob storage or either it could be an ADLS one. Okay, see here it is written Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay, so this is a Data Lake Storage Gen 2. So you could have you can create an ADLS account or you can create a blob storage account. If you want to create an ADLS account, what you need to do is, you need to just select this option. Okay, so you can see that this will become a Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Okay, so we have selected this hierarchical namespace equal to true. This is the just option. In this advanced tab you select, and then the account which you are making will be automatically become an ADLS account. Rest all you leave it as it is. So nothing, no need to make any changes for now. Say just next, 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 and it will ask for a review. So you can see that what we have given, basically we have given the subscription, we have given the resource group, we have given the location, and we have given the storage account name. So only these four things we have given. And one more thing is, like, we have enabled the hierarchical namespace, and rest we have kept everything as it is without making any changes. Okay, so these are the four things which we have done. And now let's click on this create. So what it will do is, it will keep on under the hood, it will create the storage account for you. You can see that on the top you are getting this message, its deployment got submitted, and it is trying to create this specific resource group for you. Now you can see that it's still in the progress. It will take a while. So whenever you go and you create any service into the Azure storage world, it will take a while, maybe like a couple of seconds to couple of minutes, based upon the type of the service which you create. Here storage account generally will take a not will not take more than 1 or 2 more minutes. Okay, so under that, usually your storage account will get created. Okay, and once the storage account get created, it is available for us to go and access it. Now one thing you need to understand, that creation of the storage accounts are not the responsibility of all the Azure developers. Okay, generally whenever you create the services, listen it carefully. Whenever you create any new service into the Azure world, if your company is following the best practice, then ideally this new service will be created by your admin team, or your platform admin team, or your cloud admin team, or your infrastructure team, whoever, whatever you want to call them. So they are the one who create for you. The reason being is, whichever service you're going to create in the Azure world, whatever the service you're going to create, it is going to cost to the company, and company doesn't want anyone to go and create anything. So they want an approval system properly, that you raise a ticket and somebody will verify it, whether the need is the right or not, it is justified or not, and then only the new service or whatever the resource you want to create get created. Otherwise this will be an unnecessary cost to the company. Okay, so generally companies does not allow or give access to everyone to create any resource. Okay, so generally it goes through an admin level only. Okay, great. So assume that you are the admin only and you have created it. Now let's click on go to the resource. So this will take you the new storage account which we have created for ourselves. Okay, great. Now if you look at it, this is how your storage account, this is how an overview looks like. Okay, so here you see all those information which you have set it, like the location is East US, and this is your subscription ID, this is your resource group information, all those things you will see here. Okay, now in the storage account, one thing which is important uh, is this data lake storage or a containers. So look at it here carefully. Okay, I just expanded it. So here you see this on the left hand side here. These are the four services. So these are the four services like containers, file share, queues on tables. So every storage account will have these four type of different variety of services. We'll talk about them in depth in few more minutes. But these are the four services you get within the storage account. Okay. So either you can come here, click directly on any one of them, or else you also find the same thing here. Okay. Data lake storage here. So if I just scroll down here, here you see the same thing: file service, queue service, table service, and containers are nothing but this data lake storage one. Okay, so either you can access from the left hand side like this one, or you can access from this the middle portion. So from anywhere you can go it. Let me click on this data lake storage one. Okay, so this will take me to this screen. Okay, generally the left piece of your or left side of your portal will remain the constant, because these are the common services across the container, and whatever you changes you will see here. Okay, in the middle portion of it. Okay, here you see the first thing, container. So think like container is the root folder. For example, when you get your laptop, in your laptop is what you have. At the top level you have the drive, like C drive, D drive, E drive, or F drive, right? And whatever be the you want to save into your laptop, you will go either into C, D, E, F, any one of the directory you go with, because this is your root directory. Okay, C drive will have a folder A1, and inside that you have file b1.csv, something like that. Okay, so your root folder is the C, D, E, F drive. Similarly, in the storage account, the root folder is nothing but the containers. So these containers are basically the root folder. So if you want to store anything within this Azure world or in the storage account, you basically need to create the containers. So what you do is you click on the containers and you create your first container. Okay, you give the name whatever you like. One of the common name is landing container, where all the data lands up, okay, or come up. So it also has a few access level like private, blob, containers, anonymous one is like anybody can come and see the data from this. Okay, for example, let me create a private one for now, and let's say create. Okay, now once this get created, now you will see that one container is here, landing container, which is of type private. Let me go down into this landing container, or container is like your root folder, okay, or directory, main directory. So once you get down into that, here you see this option on the top, upload of any file or add a folder, like add a directory or anything. Okay, so you can add the directory or you can upload the file as well. So how you can do that? Let's just click on this plus add directory. Okay, and let me create a one folder. I call it, uh, let's say folder one. Okay, so this will become my first folder. Okay, folder one. And what I can do is now I can, whatever data I wanted to store under that folder, I can go and store it. So I go inside the folder, I click on upload, I select any file from my local machine and I can upload it. Okay, so that's how my storage account can be functional. Okay, so let me browse the file. I go down to this a small ppt file, let's say, sorry, not this one, I'm sorry, give me a second. My click on this browse again. I have an order.csv. So one of a CSV file, I'll let me just click upload. So one of a CSV file get uploaded. You can see here that successfully uploaded message is coming. And if you come down here, you will see that order.csv got uploaded. Okay, so that's how our first container we have, first storage account we have created. And inside that storage account, we have created the container as well, and in the container we can upload the information as well, or the file as well. So this is one of the first practical part which we have done, where you have learned it how you can create the storage account and how you can uh, load or download the data from there. So if you want to download this file later on from somewhere, right click on this and you will see an option to download. Okay, so that's how you can read or write the files into the storage account from the Azure web portal. Similarly, what Azure will do is Azure gives you the REST APIs as well. Okay, REST APIs as well. Assume that I am developing a one Facebook application. Okay, now in the Facebook, this is my own Facebook, okay, not the actual one. So in my Facebook, I want a user to upload the photos. As soon as user upload the photos, I want to upload it into the ADLS, or that is the Azure Data Lake Storage. So what I can do is I can write the code. Okay, so I can write the code in the Java, I can write the code in the Python, I can write the code in the .NET. So I can write the code in any of that language, and whatever the user give me the file, using that code I can upload it into this storage account as well. So using the REST API. So with the help of a REST API, you can write the code as well, and which code can insert, upload, or load or delete the data into the storage account. Okay, so sometimes you don't want to read write the data into storage account through the web portal, you want it through a programmatic manner. So like if you are a front end developer or a back end developer, you probably read write the data into the storage account through your programs or through your code. So that can also be possible. Okay, so there are the APIs are given through which you can create your code, and through that code you can do the read and write. Okay, few thing is there. For example, if you have noticed that if I come down here, if I select on this properties, this will give me a URL, something for my website, sorry, for my file. So this is my URL. If I go down to this URL and if I try to share this URL with all of you, I don't know whether I can share it or not. Let's see if this chat comes in for everyone. I don't know. So okay, I think it doesn't come. I'm not sure. Okay, so if this chat would have been come, I think in the comments, should I do it? Okay, somehow I don't have rights to do it from this one. Anyways, so the idea is that if I go out and if I share this URL with you to download my file, you will not able to do it. So I'll just show you. Let me just copy this one and I go to my incognito window. Okay, so I go down to the incognito window here and let me paste this URL and try to download. You will see that the message which I am getting is the resource not found. Okay, the resource is not accessible. Why? Because I have kept it into a private container. So if I go down here, if I show you the container which I have, the landing container, if you see the list of the container here, the container is how the container is private. If I go down and if I change this container uh, from a private one to the anonymous one, so I'll just change the container from private to the anonymous one, blob anonymous read. Okay, and if I save it, so what I'm saying that anybody who has an access to this link can access this storage account. So if I come down to my this file again here from the incognito window and let me enter this one. So now you see that in the bottom here, I mean somehow it's not visible to you because this see. So if you see here now in the bottom, this file got downloaded now. Okay, why? Because I have made my container as a public one. So to show you again, if I come down here, I paste the URL and let me enter this, then you will see that in the bottom, this will go and get downloaded. Okay, you can see that now it is downloading here and it got downloaded. Okay, why? Because now anybody can access my file if they have the URL, because the container access level is what? That is the public access level. So I mean, sorry, here the public access level is blob. So if it was a private one, I would not be allowed to do it. Okay. So when you make a container, 99% of the times you will going to make a private container only, because in an organization you want to make the things private only. You don't want to make the things which is accessible outside the your office. So you will make a private only. But few of the things or few of the cases where you don't want to make the things private, but you want to keep it open for everyone. And how you can do it? You can make the container access level as a anonymous one, so that anybody without having any user ID and password can use it. So that's how your container can be useful. So if we quickly revise what we have done so far, is like we go down to our Azure portal. In the Azure portal, I search for a storage account. Okay, under that storage account, oh, I'm sorry, I selected something wrong. Okay, I select the storage account. Under that storage account, what I have to do is I click on this plus create to create something new. So click on this plus create. Then I have to give the subscription. Then I have to give the resource group. Like, so I choose my subscription. In your case, it will be free trial subscription you will have. I choose my resource group, whatever the resource group I want to pick. Then I give the storage account name, some random name I'm typing in. Then you give the region, that is a location where this gets stored. Then you go down to the advanced tab. Under the advanced tab, I selected the hierarchical namespace equal to true, because I want to create an ADLS storage account, and rest all I kept is as it is. And I just say next, 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 and next. And this will review it. And the moment I click on this create, this will going to create a storage account for me. Okay. And once a storage account will be created, what you're going to do is you go down to this that storage account by finding the name of that storage account. So what is the name which we have given? Mission 100 free Azure batch. So I just select this, and this is my storage account. And now in this storage account, what you have done is you go to this container. On the left hand side, you see this container. So click on this container. That will take you to the list of the containers. And this is the container place. Now what I can do is I can just click the container here, and I give the name here, and that's it. And this will create a container for me. and and you click on this landing container, so you go inside it, and this will create the folders for you. Okay, so you from here you can create the folder and you can put the data inside this. And that's how you can completely use your storage account. So, meanwhile, anyone has any doubts, any questions, please come forward for all your questions, guys. I'm here for answering all the questions. So, if you still, so far, if you have any questions, please come forward and ask all your questions. Go ahead, guys. Come on. Murlidhar want to speak something again. I mean, it can share the storage point or route. I think I pick your. Can you tell SharePoint means? Where SharePoint is one of the service. I think you are talking about that SharePoint service. So SharePoint is a different service or a different uh, technology in itself. You think like that. Okay. So this is nothing to do with this containers. Anand is asking when to use ADLS and when to use the blob. So, good question. Generally, blob is used when you don't want to do the big data analytics. So, whenever somebody wants to do the store the data, which is going to be utilized for a big data analytics purpose, assume that I am downloading a lot of CSV files and uploading it, and these CSV files will be used for big data analytics. So, in that case, I should keep these CSV files into an ADLS account, because ADLS, that is the Azure Data Lake Storage account, are optimized for the big data analytics. So if you have some data which is going to be utilized under a big uh, utilized under the big data analytics, then you keep that data into the your ADLS account. Okay, so I hope this will answer your question. Jace is asking how to create multiple regions. You cannot create the regions. Regions are a data centers. They are indirectly representing the geographical location where data center are located. So it's the Azure who created the region for us. Okay, because the region is like a hardware thing. So let's say they buy a one place in. Let's say for example, I have to create a region in India. So I will buy a place in India. I will set up my data center there. I will add all the hardwares there, and then I will call that, okay, now I have a India region also available. If somebody want to create some services, they can keep it into the India region. Okay, so region is not which you create. You use the region, you don't create the region. Vineet asking, blob is a part of ADLS or we have to create it separately? What does it mean by blob? Blob full form is binary large object. Okay, so blob, a file is also called a blob. Okay, so for example, if I have a one file in this my storage account. Okay, see, if you're seeing my storage account, this is a file order.csv. Technically this order.csv is called as a blob. Okay, so blob is nothing but it all a file. Ravi is asking who will decide the storage capacity. So storage capacity is something which is scalable. So storage account are scalable. Okay, so whatever amount of data you want to store, you can store it. Only the thing is like you have to pay based on the storage account you have used. So the amount of data which you have stored, that will decide how much it costs to you. Okay. Current storage account name should be unique for my Azure account or for all Azure account in the universe. So it is need to be unique for all the account in the universe. The reason being is this: if you see how I am accessing my data, I am accessing my data is doing something like this. Okay, Mission 100 Azure free batch. So this is like my storage account name dot blob dot co dot window dot net. So this name need to be unique, because if this name will be unique, then from a URL I can uniquely identify. And that's why your storage account name need to be unique across all the clients. It's not that within your account itself, but across the world, you can say that your name needs to be unique. Okay. Somebody is asking, Aditya Varnare, sir, help me to career in a data scientist. Guys, please ask a more specific question than be such a generic question. Saptarishi is asking, how can we deploy and software application in Azure? We'll talk about it. That is not the topic of today's discussion. Rishikesh, is it possible to change the region? You can do that. Uh, that's a possible. Saptarishi, how we can deploy and software? Okay, again, I'm sorry, the same question. Tikikum, could you please repeat an access level setting for a container? So I'll repeat that. So container level has a three different access levels. Okay. So if I come down to this container, you will see this access level. Okay. So you will find three. One is the private, that nobody can access until unless you give any specific access. So one is a private. So one is private, no anonymous access. Blob analysis can read only for the blobs. So if I've given this level of access level, it means that somebody can only read a file, they cannot read an entire folders. Okay. So if I give a container anonymous read access, then they can read entire folders and the files as well. Okay. So these are the three different access levels. One is private, no one has an access. Blob, only the file level access. Container means your entire folder hierarchy access you will get. Okay. So those are the three different access levels you have. Okay. Let's see anyone new question coming in. Zohan, difference between ADLS Databricks and Data Factory. Data Factory and Databricks are two different things. Okay. Data Factory is orchestration tool where you create a workflow like step by step. Databricks is used for more for analytics purpose. Okay. Again, we'll talk more when we get into our data engineering course. Okay, so you can join my data engineering course to learn both of these things in quite depth. Sanchit, is Oracle EBS on Microsoft Azure platform nowadays or on OCI platform, which is the best suitable platform for an Oracle EBS application? I think I want to park this question because I'm not an Oracle guy, honestly. So I'm not pretty sure what could be the right answer for this. Now you have created mission Azure for all resource and one storage. So you paid money for the storage? Yes, I have paid the money for it. Okay. So the good thing is that the cost is very less. Okay. So cost is really very less. So for a 1 GB, I think for a month it will cost you like 70, 80, 100 rupees, something like that. So I have kept a very small size of a data, so there won't be any big charge. More like 2 3 rupees, like that, I guess. Even lesser than that, maybe. Okay. Deepak Kumar is asking the question. Something question is there. What? Sir, I have a 7 years of experience in different field. May I move towards a data science engineer? What is this data science engineer? Probably data scientist. Maybe you are thinking that you can do data engineering if you want. You can do it. Only the thing is you need to know the basic of SQL and basic of Python. So if you can manage two things, I think you can learn either a data science as well, or you can learn a data engineering as well. Okay. Chaitanya is, can you please difference between the storage account and the volumes? We'll talk. We haven't touched about the volume. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay. Volumes is basic, but let's say let me speak in short. Storage account is a scalable. Volumes is, and there you can access via REST API or anything. Volumes are basically the kind of a hard disk which attached to the your virtual machine. Okay. So volumes are not directly accessible, but your storage account are directly accessible. Okay. Santosh is asking for a structured data, which container we use. So it doesn't depend upon the your container doesn't depend upon the type of your data, whether you have a images, audio, video, structured file, unstructured file, whatever it is. So your container you can make of any type. So that is not there. Rushali is asking, you have AZ1 not 4 course also? No, I don't have it. I only have a data engineering course. So tomorrow timing of the class. So tomorrow there is no class. We planned it to have a weekend only. So next class would be on the next weekend. Okay. I will send out an email with the time. Mostly the timing will be the 7 p.m. IST. So that will be the timing for the tomorrow. Sorry, for the next week, Saturday. Okay. So this will be a weekend class because a lot of people have office, so it's tough for them to do continue on the weekdays. Any more questions? Saptarshi asking, sir, can we go ahead with a free account of an Azure? So do hands-on on Azure 900 fundamental. Yes, you can go ahead and you can create that Azure free account for you as well. Okay, so a lot of people has asked their question. So before moving forward, I do just one thing to share. Like my new batch for data engineering is getting started. So if any one of you wanted to become learn an Azure data engineering, so you can plan to join my class. So this will be the URL for joining to my data engineering batch. This will be a 3 to 4 month long course. It will start from 17th of June, and it will run for, as I said, it run for 3 to 4 months. The classes will be on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and that too in the morning, 8 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. IST. And in this data engineering course, we'll go simply like the way we are learning here, everything by practical approach. Even there, I don't have any PowerPoint presentation also. So we'll have the quizzes, we'll get assignments every week, we'll solve the assignments. We have projects also there, interview preparation help, resume preparation help, cheat sheets. So also some certifications help. So you get all those things into this course, and you get the private community where you can chit chat with all of your friends together, and like you can learn with them. So all that environment is you get it. So if you are looking to become an Azure data engineer, my new batch is starting on 17th of June. You can plan to enroll into that batch and you can start your data engineering journey. Otherwise, if you don't want it, that's completely fine. Anyways, this Azure free session will be going for next week as well, where we go and talk about few more concepts of data, the Azure fundamentals. Again, I wanted to make the sessions a little more practical. That's why I've added it. But when you go for an Azure 900 exam, AZ 900, probably nobody is going to ask you how to create the storage account or how to use the storage account. Okay, so that is not a part of the question in generally AZ 900, because certification, as I said, is more of a theory rather than the practical. But for the confidence you get only when you do the practicals. So it's important for today to show you that how this works, and that's why I have taken you through this Azure storage account creation. Yeah, somebody's asking, is this class free? I'm sorry, Sambit, I do also have the stomachs to feed, so I cannot do everything for free. And I hope you're also not learning for doing the charity. So you also learning to earn and feed your family. So the same thing is with me also. So I cannot do completely everything free. So my this data engineering batch, which is a 3 4 month long course, so such a long course doing free is not feasible. So that is having a very small price. Honestly, that is a very small price compared to the like any other market courses. So that has very minimal cost, so it's very affordable one. So I kept it very very affordable price, so that like you can also do it and I can also earn something to earn my bread and butter as well. So that is the uh, that's why there is a small fees is there. And also the thing is, like when you put on some money, you have something at your stake. So you will also uh, be little more serious or disciplined about it. Okay, so Jaipuria Priyanka is asking for the price. So I put down the link under this chat itself. You go down to that link and you can check it. It is in the two form. One is a self-paced, which is a pretty low cost or almost one third of the cost, and another one is a live classes. So up to you whether you want to take a recorded classes for that or you want to take a live classes. So based on that you have two different prices there. You can go down to this link which I put on into the chat and you can check it. Okay. So any questions, anything on this data engineering class? If you have some questions around it you can ask. Okay. And if you're liking this free session which we are doing, because as I said, I don't want it to be a one session, I want it to be a series of sessions. So we are doing here series of a free session. So next week also we'll have a two session planned on Saturday and Sunday, and probably next week to next week also we'll have a few sessions planned. So this is not going to be a journey which stop here itself. Again, it's all the 6 7 session, whatever session I will take, all those will be the free only. So nothing will be the cost. I looking at the total number of the participants, I feel that we can move to the Google Meet as well, because otherwise a lot of people feel that everything will be available to them on the YouTube. So I think we can go onto the Google Meet as well. So I will decide and I will send out an email to all of you. So please watch out those emails as well and WhatsApp group as well. I'll notify in the WhatsApp group whether we are going on a YouTube live or we are going on to the Google Meet. Because advantage of Google Meet is like you can ask the question directly by speaking. Okay. Otherwise here you have to type and I have to check like, and sometimes I miss few questions. Okay. So I think Google Meet would be a good option. You can do that. Sambit is asking what is a self-paced course. Self-paced course is a recording of my previous batch. So whatever the previous batch I have taken in the Azure Data Engineering, that entire live class I get it recorded, and I'm giving it a one third of the live price. So if my live price is 3x, the price for the self-paced course is just a x. Okay, so that is like to make it affordable for everyone. Okay. Uh, Vrushal is asking, are you planning for AZ104 batch? No, I'm sorry, I'm not planning anything for AZ104 batch. Okay. This Go Gopi Krishna, this current course which we are running here on YouTube for free is for AZ900 only. Okay. So yeah. Uh, Priyala Verma, doubt will be cleared in the self-paced course. So in the self-paced course, like you run at your own speed, right? So you can ask all your doubt via email. So if you have some doubt, you can ask via email as well. Okay. So in the live, you can ask in front of me, like on the Google Meet. Generally, I do live classes. So there you can ask live. But if you are taking a self-paced course, then you can send out all those questions via email. Okay. And I will try to respond to them. Okay. Any more questions, anyone? Please come forward and ask. And you can also share your feedback whether you are liking this session, whether the speed is slow, fast, you're enjoying the way I explain, not enjoying, something can be improved, etc. etc. So whatever is your suggestion is, please uh, be vocal and share all your suggestions. That can make the things much better, or it can improve the things. So I would love to hear all your feedback. See, negative feedback are also welcome. Okay. And if you're liking this session, please do share on the LinkedIn, in your group, etc., so that others also can get benefited out of it. Okay. Because it's completely free. Mulidhar is saying, Vishal is saying, we are enjoying. Thank you so much, Vishal. Mulidhar is saying all good. Great. Thank you so much. Anand is saying, will we get the platform access? Platform access is completely free. Yesterday I have shown it. So if you have not joined the yesterday's session, go back and watch the yesterday's recording. You will get it. How you can do it. Krishna is saying, we simply loving it. Thank you so much, Krishna. Aditya is saying, that class has some certification. I think that's what his question is. That class have the certificate? Yes, this free class also will have a course completion certificate, and the live class will also have a course completion certificate. So course completion certificate you will have it in both the classes. uh, Somebody is asking, Any eligibility criteria for Azure data engineer? You need to know basic of SQL. So the basic of SQL is the prerequisite, and if you know basic of Python, it's good. Otherwise, I'll give you the free Python course. So the basics of SQL is the main prerequisite, because data engineering is about 80% of the SQL itself. Okay, so you need to be knowing about the SQL. So if you have a SQL knowledge, then you can become a data engineer. That's perfectly fine, not a big problem. Zoan, doing great, man. Your way of talking on topics clears itself only. Thank you so much, Zoan. A lot of people loves the way I explain. So thank you so much. Um, you are also iterating the same. Thank you so much. Ravi is asking, I'm working as an IT support in hardware. Can I switch the job from hardware support to the cloud domain? Possible, but which stream you do it, you have to think what, whether data engineer, data scientist, cloud developer, data engineer, sorry, administrator, or what you want to. Okay, so pick the role. As I always say, not only the cloud, pick the role along with the cloud. Okay. Someshwar is saying, indeed, it is very thorough. Thank you so much, Somesh. I hope you're talking about the content which we are delivering. Kanishka is saying, I'm loving it. Will your D have these basic courses as well, or they will start with ADF? So don't worry. Everything will start from the scratch only. So don't worry. My data engineering course also have everything from the scratch. My data engineering course expects that you just only aware of the basic of SQL. Rest all I will take care. Okay. So that is the expectation. Sanchit is saying feedback. Thank you so much for this session, but please focus more on a practical part. We have done only the practical part only, Sanchit. So, but we can slowly increase the pace, because we have to take everyone along. As there is a lot of people who is might also not from an IT background, so we have to consider their pace as well. Rajat Rajni, I'm sorry. For data engineer, which one certification is compulsory to clear? I don't have any certification done on my own as well for data engineering. So it's not mandatory to do the certification. I feel certification gives you only the theory. Practical is more important. But still, if you want to do it, the certification number is DP203. Okay, DP203. Okay, that's questions done. Aman Paharia is asking, if I already learned AWS, then this would be helpful for me or not? Absolutely, this will be helpful, because now you will have a hybrid or a multi-cloud professional. Okay. Saptarishi is, what is the purpose of a data engineering? Like in software development, we do it for developing application. Data engineering, there is a one very good webinar I did it. So I will try to share that webinar with you. That will answer most of the question on the data engineering world, regarding the package, regarding the experience, regarding the prerequisite, what is the roles and responsibility of the data engineer, etc., etc. So I will share that recording with all of you. Okay, so that will solve many of your questions. Murlidhar is saying, any Python classes running now? Don't have a Python class running now. I have a free course. I'll give it to you if you want. Don't worry. I'll give lot of free content. Okay. I'll take a very small money just for feeding the family. Okay. Otherwise, majority of the thing are free. Kaushik is saying, I am enjoying. Thanks for giving this opportunity. Thank you so much. Rahul, thank you. Enjoying the session. Thank you so much. There's so many questions are coming in. Vrishali is asking, I have a 9 years of IT admin. Can I start my career in data engineering? Fairly possible if you can manage the SQL part. Okay. So if you can manage the SQL, then you can definitely do it. Uh, I already answered, Rajni, your question, that the certification number is DP203. Manish is asking, I'm from Nepal and currently doing my internship in data engineering and analytics. I hope this course helps me a lot. Absolutely. This will help you a lot. Don't worry. Quati is saying, what level of coding required for a cloud? Again, that is the wrong question. In the cloud, what you're going to do? If you in the cloud you become a full stack developer, then huge coding is needed. If in the cloud you want to just become a tester, No coding is needed. Okay, so pick the role. Akhilesh is asking what is the difference between data scientist and data engineer. I will share a one video with you that has all the information. Okay, the blob setting that last we see access level and setting that we do on hierarchical namespace between the blob and ADLS in beginning is different. Will it my storage change back to the blob even I set it to the ADLS? I think that is not allowed. It will do couple of checks on its own. So you have to validate it if you want to convert it. And if the conversion are allowed, then only you can do it. Otherwise, it's not. Okay. So it's not very straightforward. You can move back in between. Okay. Kalash is saying, I'm enjoying the session. Thank you so much, Kalash. Ayana is saying, I have a 5 years of experience in Linux support. Can I do data engineering? I have a basic understanding of the SQL. Yes, perfectly fine. You can definitely do it. So there is no doubt about it. MySQL or SQL is one or more or less same thing. Priyala is asking which one is easier, become a DevOps or a data engineer. I feel the data engineer is a better option being a woman, because DevOps folks a lot of time have to have other shifts because they have to do the production deployment and all. So it makes sense to become a data engineer, because data engineering jobs are kind of a developer's jobs. So which is a normal shifts. It does not have your night shifts or etc like that. So I think data engineers have a chill life compared to their DevOps folks. Aditya is saying, have any SQL classes recorded? Yes, SQL class recording is also there. You can take that as well. Akash is saying, hi Deepak, I am into the production support for 5 years, having uh, Informatica, Unix, and SQL. Which module will be beneficial with about technology with how much package? I am not saying which module you are talking about. So you are Informatica person and you want to do something else. So if you want to do something else, data engineering would be the role for you, because Informatica is ETL tool, and ETL developers are mostly a half of the data engineers. So for them, the generally the next stage would be the data engineering. Sandeep is saying, sir, right now I am a DevOps engineer. I want to become an architect. How is it possible? Please reply me. So uh, you if you are a DevOps engineer and you want to become an architect, I assume you want to become a technical architect. So I would say that you don't need a too much knowledge, but you need to have at least a high level knowledge, because when you design the solution you will be aware of the couple of technologies available. So maybe you want to become a data architect, assume it for now. So then you need to know all the services around the data, all the technologies revolves around the data. Okay, so think about it. You just want to become a DevOps architect, or like a infra kind architect from the infra side, networking side, or maybe from data side or technology or application side. Decide it based on that. You have to cover those technologies available for them. Okay, I am a non-techie guy with 6 year experience. I have working knowledge of Python, SQL, Power BI. Can I learn? If you know Python, SQL, and Power BI, you can 100% do it. Okay, whether you are a non-IT or IT, it doesn't matter. But if you know all these three, whichever you are saying, then you can definitely do it. Do you have any evening, afternoon sessions for data engineering courses, or you're planning anything in the future? Chitna, I take only one batch in 4 months. I don't want to print the money, so I take only one batch in 4 months. Okay, just a one batch. So it's not like that I take multiple batches. So this is only one batch that is on the weekend. Okay, nothing else. Okay. Someshwar is asking, are we done for today as far as the today's plan is concerned? I think we are done. I'm just answering all the questions. Okay. Because the question is more important. Otherwise, people feel like they are not able to ask the questions. So I'm trying to answer all these questions. Someshwar. Hi Deepak, switching from data science to data engineering is fruitful. The simple answer is, if you are looking for a switch, that means that you are finding something challenging there or something problematic is there. So yes, my answer is yes, it's fruitful, because at this point of a time the data science is more about a buzz and less about the number of the jobs available. So the number of the jobs available is quite less in data science. Actual projects are less compared to the data engineering. So if you're looking from that perspective, data engineering, you can switch. Saptarshi saying, I have a 1.5 years of experience in a production support, so I want to switch my career to a data engineer. How can I do it? It will I have to be starting as a fresher again because I want to have relevant experience in that domain. Generally, what many people do is like they learn the data engineering. I'll give the project as well. They use this project and put down into the resume and showcase the experience as a like a some experience. So you can also do that. So in that case, you don't have to start completely as a beginner. Okay, then you can utilize your existing experience around it. Okay, so that is also possible. Somebody is saying, Kaushik, after this AI, will it impact in data engineering job? I feel it should not, because AI works on what? AI works on the data. So eventually AI needs more and more data to become more and more powerful. So and data engineers are the ones who provide the correct data in a right format. So they are going to be in need because they are the food for the AI. Okay. So again, that's why I feel that it should not going to affect too much to the data people. Thank you, Somesh. Somesh is logging off. Thank you so much, Somesh, for joining in. Sana Tarun is saying, please take daily classes. It will complete soon, right? You are right, Sana, but I also have an office. I also have a family and other things. So understand, this is tough every day. As an Azure DevOps engineer, what extra value will this course add to my profile? If you are already Azure DevOps engineer, Azure Fundamental is good to have. As I said, data Azure Fundamental is the basic course. Okay. What is the end time of data engineering batch from 17 June to, so it's a 3 to 4 month long course. Okay, so imagine that it will going to July, August, September, somewhere around like September, October, this will get finished. Okay. Pinky Sagar is asking something for uploading the data on the storage account. It is only one way to upload the multiple files, also, or have another way to in terms of the speed of upload if we consider for a big size data. So Pinky, yes, there are multiple ways are there. There is a easy copies functionality is there through which you can upload a multiple file. You can do through it through a REST API as well. You have a one a different storage explorer as well through which also you can upload the file. There are many different ways are there. Okay, so this is not only just a way to upload a file. Okay, so there are multiple ways are out there through which you can upload the file. Okay, any more questions left, anyone? So if nothing is left, I think we'll call it a day, and then we will move next week, and we'll meet next week on the Saturday. Okay, and in meanwhile, I'll add few assignments and add few quizzes as well. So I'll update as soon as I update the quizzes and assignment. I will send out an email, and I will update also into our WhatsApp group. So if you have not joined the WhatsApp group yet, please check out the link in the description somewhere and you will find that WhatsApp group link. Or else you can check out the emails. So in the email also you will find I have added the WhatsApp group links as well. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining in. Just a last question. I can see something Ritik is saying. I am a .NET developer, so can I move to the data engineering? I have basic knowledge of SQL, but don't know Python. So other skill I know. Okay. So if you are a .NET developer, you don't have to worry because a basic level of coding you already know, a very basic .NET. So Python is similar to like that only. The syntax get changed a little bit. So that Python is not a problem. SQL you already know. So I think both of the prerequisite is done. You can definitely move to the data engineering. Okay. The good thing about the data engineering is the package, guys. This data engineering field is new. I mean, if you are experienced one, you know that this is not heard 3 4 years ago. 3 4 years ago, nobody was aware of data engineering and all those things. So this field is new. There's a lot of jobs out there at this point, and the package is also very very good. So you know that demand is high, supply is less, and that's why everybody is getting a good package as well. So if you want to make a some shift in your career and you are not very happy with your current technology or you want to upgrade yourself, then data engineering would be one of the very good option you can choose for. Okay, so please, if you want, you can choose. Ritika, thank you so much, Ritika. Saptish is asking, can we shift in the morning? No, in the morning I have a data engineering batch going on. Okay, so I'm booked in the morning, Saptrishi. So in the morning I already have a 3 hour session, and then I'm taking the session, so it's tough. So you behind the scene it take a lot of efforts. Okay, thank you so much for joining in. I think it's all the question, most of the question get answered. So thank you. Can we increase the duration of the course and finish by next week? We can do that, but after a certain period of time nobody will understand. Okay, I think next week hopefully I'll move to the Google Meet, because that is a more comfortable option. Okay, Ankur, yes, you can move it with the MS SQL DB. It's fairly possible to do it, don't worry. Ashish, you get the recording, it's a YouTube, you don't need anyone else to get the recording, it's automatically available on the YouTube. Okay. Chaitanya is asking, can you move from DevOps to data engineering? Yes, it could be a good decision, don't worry. You will have a killer profile who know data engineering plus DevOps both. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. I'll share the Google Meet link via email and also on the WhatsApp group. So keep an eye on that and watch for my mail, and I'll share that. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. I mean, we'll see you next week. Bye bye.